Hey everybody, what's going on? Sorry it's been so long. I know that it's been a couple weeks since I posted my last blog, but I'm back and I have a lot of stories to share. I would expect many blogs in the next day or two, hopefully. Life has kind of been really crazy lately, but all good things that I'm going to share with you. So right off the bat, I want to jump into our experience at the MacRitchie Reservoir. We were originally told that this was the Singapore jungle. Didn't know much about it, but we said, hey, why not? We'll give it a shot. So this was what we were confronted with right when we got there. And this was sort of a map, and there were all different trails, which we'll go through a lot of pictures, and there were different routes, and you could take the running route or the walking route or the hiking route, and there were all different ways to get around through this big forest, jungle, reservoir, whatever you want to call it. So right when we were facing this little map, we saw these monkeys. There were lots of monkeys. Monkeys are pretty common in Singapore and in this area of the world, but this was my first, interaction with them in Singapore. So it was kind of neat. I had seen them in Batam on my last trip, but this was the first one in Singapore. And if you can see the little baby who's grabbing on to the mom, I thought that was kind of cute. So I'll have more pictures of monkeys, but they were everywhere. As we started our hike, we began to just go past this big lake, and there was what's it called? Like a canoe, kayak canoe, some kind of boat race going on. And so we got to watch a little bit of that, and that was happening right here in this water. And then the water, I guess there was sort of this lakeish type water all over. Everywhere it seemed like we hiked further and further, and there was just these areas of water. So I assume that's why it's called the MacRitchie Reservoir, but I think it was more jungly and hike-ish than a place to relax and enjoy the water. So I went on this hike with it was obviously me. I'm over there on the left, and then next to me is Devin, who's a friend, for those of you who don't know, from Drexel, who came with me to Singapore. Then in the back, that's Kenny. He is also from the United States. And then next is Elise, who's also from the United States. And then Lindsay, who's from Canada. So we were a motley crew, but all from the continental North America region, which was cool. As we continued our hike, we went to this place where it had all these bamboo trees. And my extent of ever seeing bamboo has always been just, in much smaller than this. I mean, this was everywhere you looked, there were just these giant bamboo trees. I mean, all the way from the bottom all the way up to the top, and they were, so tall. At the top, they started to sort of curve, and it seemed like they couldn't grow any taller straight up. They just started all of them were hanging down. This was a quick shot of the girls. We went on. I think this was actually when we sort of went off the beaten track a little bit. I think I suggested the idea to keep things exciting, so we sort of went off the beaten track a little and did these side trails also. I know at one point, I think Devin has the picture. We'll have to get it. I lifted up this entire tree to allow us to walk through it, and I was feeling all macho and whatnot. Anyway, here's another monkey picture, and if you can't tell, the monkey is holding a Kit Kat wrapper. It was really crazy what happened, but this monkey was on the other side. We were they had these markings along the trail, and finally we got to where there was a water fountain and a nature. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but whatever the person who stays in the park, and I'm sure you're probably all yelling at the computer what it is, but oh well, it'll come to my mind eventually. But the guy who kind of knows where to go and how things work at the park. So, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, we finally got this place. There was tables. We were sitting, relaxing, taking a break for a couple minutes, and we saw this other group of people standing right next to these little benches. And this monkey, we saw it from so far away. It literally came running across one table to the next table, and to this railing, and grabbed onto this girl's skirt, climbed up her skirt right into her hands, and took away her Kit Kat. And the monkey right now is just indulging on this Kit Kat that it just like attacked this girl, got the Kit Kat, was so happy, ripped it out of the wrapper, and then took it and climbed up a tree and started eating the Kit Kat, just like relaxing on a tree as if nothing happened. So it was really scary. It gave you a little like heads up to watch what you have and know that monkeys can just come out of nowhere while you're in the jungle. But they didn't seem so vicious, but this one was sort of had its eye set on some chocolate, and to be honest, I don't really blame it. Hey, who doesn't want a nice little afternoon snack? So the whole point of this whole hike was that we were going up to this, what they called the Skywalk, which was a one-way path, and it was, everyone talked so highly of it. It was like the halfway point in the hike, so we had to get this far, and then we started to head back to where we started. I think if I remember correctly, it was like maybe 7 kilometers, I think, was the hike. So I think that overall the whole hike was actually 14 something like that kilometers. But we halfway we got to this skywalk. We were about 7 kilometers in. So right away we walked through the doorway, and this is what we were sort of confronted with. No, it wasn't so scary, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a little more like nerve-wracking than it was, but we had some really amazing views. A couple of pictures I don't have, but they're on Facebook, or they're just not with me right now. But we all got some really cool shots of us actually with this cool view in the back. We were basically above the jungle, so we looked down upon all the trees, and it had like this gate along the side, and it wasn't very sturdy. It was pretty rickety rackety, but it was definitely worth the amazing view that we got when we were we could say that we were on top of MacRitchie Reservoir, so it was neat. I got a quick picture here of Kenny, who was looking pretty bad with his X across his chest. But yeah, it was just a great hike all the way up to the top. Finally finished off the day, and this was the 5 of us. We just got a quick shadow pic, which was cool. And what happened was that we had to go. Hey again, we had to go from the MRT, which is like the train and subway in Singapore. We had to walk I think it was like 2 kilometers or something to get to the MacRitchie Reservoir. So right when we got out, we passed this like little playground, and in the beginning we like played on it for a little bit. It was like a massive playground, way better than any playground we have at home. It had just things like this little swing on there, and like it had we have lots of pictures of everything that was there. It was way more advanced than our playgrounds, but we like hung out on there, and then we went this whole day. We were so exhausted. It took us like maybe 15 minutes to walk 2 kilometers to the MacRitchie Reservoir. On the way home, we like stopped at Starbucks and at Cheers and at like 7-Eleven, like all these different stops just to get food and drinks because we were so exhausted. And before we got on the train, we came back here and just like we were just dead. So we just sort of hung out. We were chilling, relaxing for a little on the playground. The girls were basically sleeping on the train ride home. So we were all dead, exhausted. Lots of hiking. As I showed you, really cool views, lots of great pictures, good exercise. And we got to see the jungle and some wildlife in Singapore. And what better way to kind of finish off with a nice, awesome sunset. Just a couple stops before Boon Lay, which is where we get off to come back to NTU. So this was my experience at the MacRitchie Reservoir. Nice hike, great times, great memories. And really enjoyed it all. It was very cool. Very culturally, I feel more culturally experienced with the Singapore way, so it was nice. That's all for now, and I will talk to you guys all soon. Hope life back at home is great. I miss you all so much, and cheers.